YouTube exclusive. One thing we want to lead off with is thank you all for subscribing. We've hit 3,000. It was only doable by your sharing and subscribing and getting the word out there, for following our content and watching as well. So thank you. We're about to hit 2021, but we're not quite there yet, so we need a few more revisits before the end of the year. With that being said, Mill is one of our top lists, and we're going to go ahead and run it, but with a little green splash. It's a preliminary list we found from the Mill Discord. Let's get right to it. Sultai, Mill. Sultai Mill here in Modern. This will look like some of the other Mill lists that we've played. However, it is splashing green for a few interesting things. Now, we're going to take slight liberties here because I wanted to play a different list, but we're going to give this one a shot. So, AT Jerwaz here getting the, I think it's a 3-1 that they ended up getting in a Modern preliminary. So not the crazy 5-0s or 4-0s or undefeated records. However, a sizable victory. So let's see what we've got here. Now, this is obviously splashing a little bit of green. We have a pair of breeding pools, a waterlogged grove, and no other green sources. So let's be mindful of our 3 green sources. No way to fetch a basic forest either. But when you look at this, excluding Assassin's Trophy here, the list is pretty stock. Hedron Crab, Ruined Crab, Archive Trap, Manning Cacophony, and Mesmeric Orbs. You've got your Visions, you've got your Surgicals, very typical. Now, this person's got some Soul Guide Lanterns here, and they're running actually Assassin's Trophy, which is an interesting little note here because Assassin's Trophy would have the person potentially search, and if we do this early enough, we can fire it off and basically get some archive traps going. Now, no, the spice wasn't there before, but we're adding the spice here. Soul Guide Lantern is going to be a single replacement, so ATG played 3. I'm going to play 1 Scape Shift. I've just got this gut feeling that I'm going to get to Scape Shift someone. It is a double green pip card and Breeding Pool. Breeding Pool is really our only way to go about doing this, so it may not come up, but we'll see. Sideboard wise, we've got Aether Gusts and Mystical Disputes, pretty typical counters that we're seeing. Things for the red and green decks, but also things for the blue decks. We have Crypt Incursion and we have Yixlid Jailer. So Yixlid's kind of an interesting one here. We don't see this too often, but things in the graveyard lose their abilities. It's a great way to interact with those cards that are coming out of the graveyards, such as Uros, such as Prized Amalgams, other cards that are maybe escaping, or other things that are able to be just brought back by some ability. So a couple of those there. We got a Devour Flesh, which is an interesting one, maybe against Boggles. But then you get to green. Green is very interesting here because green's opening us to Weather the Storm, where if we have, say, Storm itself, or perhaps some sort of Burn Prowess list, we could probably gain some life and gain us enough time to beat down our opponent. We have a Gaia's Blessing, which is for the mirror. And we have a Veil of Summer, which is called the Cryptic Command of Green. Lurrus is in this build because the 2-drops and 1-drops are all we have. And that completes our list here. Yes, it's got Scape Shift. Yes, I jammed it in. And yes, we're doing this. We'll see if it works. Will Soul Guide Lantern be missed? Will Scape Shift win us a victory? We'll find out. Sultai Mill. Let's get to the matches. Sultai Mill here in Modern, getting things started here. We'll see how it all goes. I'm not expecting too much craziness here. This very slight splash of green gives us this option to run something a bit interesting. One card that you might be thinking of is Splendid Reclamation as an alternate way to play with Scape Shift, and maybe something we'll consider in our future. But we've got this one here. It is basically blue-black mill. We'll see if that green makes a difference here. Match 1, let's find an opponent. And there we have it. Match 1 found, let's start milling. Here we go. Will we get the play or will we get the draw? I'd like the play. It'd be a good way to start things out here. You know what's really funny? I just realized I never took the Soul Guide Lantern out. 61 card special. Don't judge. Don't judge. Do we? Do we? Because of our misplay of 61 card special. Absolutely. Let's go. We're gonna get there. Just make us look like, you know, just counter control, tapping in the watery grave here. Triple archive trap coming up. Oh. Oh. Yep. 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 Yeah. No. Nope, that doesn't look good. Opponent, you need to fetch. Green will be important here. Steam vents. I saw a non-basic and got really excited. I shouldn't have. It was a bad idea. Soulscar Mage here getting the prowess triggers off of Manamorphose. Manamorphose making blue and red. And we have a Stormwing here. Scrying a few here as well. I don't see us getting very far here. It might be worth hiding this information that we have. Let's at least Fatal Push. That should scare them, right? Maybe I can find that Assassin's Trophy. Ooh, there's the Waterlogged Grove. We're almost there. Almost there. Is this worth it? Scalding Tarn. All right. We have a game. We have a game. In for 3, absolutely. Go ahead, opponent. Mutagenic. Okay. Just gonna have to let this resolve, I think. Lightning Bolt. Okay. All this is at instant speed. How much damage are they gonna do? Lava Dart. Okay. Lava Dart. Please calm down, opponent. Bye. 9 damage, 15. I wonder if I'm supposed to do this. My opponent has 48 cards. This is going to be 13. This will be 26, 39. And then we visions. Absolutely. Blast them. Get out of here. Archive trap. Archive trap. Go for the visions. Not sure what this gets me, but okay. Extra maddening. So do I just go get a basic here? They have 1 card in hand and plenty of lava darts. I can't. I wonder if I can figure out something to take here with this surgical so that the mill 8 works here. Let's analyze. I see 1 Manamorphose. I see 2 Manamorphose. We have nothing in exile. We can win this. I know we can. I only see 2 Manamorphose. They usually play 4, right? That would be the card to take here. I see a gut shot here. I see lots of lava darts. Don't want to take those. Another gut shot. I see 2 Stormwing, 3 Stormwing. I see 3 Mutagenic. It's gotta be the Manamorphose, right? And just do it off of black here, like this. Where's the Manamorphose? Come here. It's gotta be that. Steal. This is mine. Gimme. Oh, there's 2 in the deck. There's 1 here. Look at all these Sprite Dragons. I guess that's something I could have found. And then shocking in here is okay. No, how many lava darts? No, there's only 3. So fetch basic here. Take 1 damage as well and be okay with this being at 4. They only have 3 mountains. Cast. There you have it. Triple archive trap. Got there. There you go. Who needed the escape shift? Not us. All right. So, you know, about this. Weather the Storm definitely coming in, and Crypt Incursion here as well. Aether Gusts are probably fine too. easy scape shift take here. My opponent's probably not going to want to fetch anymore. Let's see here. Fatal pushes make sense. Cling to Dust is probably... Cling to Dust is nice because it gains life. It'll keep us from, you know, dying quickly. But my opponent can put out quite a bit here. We're going to be bringing in Crypt Incursions and Weather the Storms, making me think that this can be just replaced with something probably just better. Probably just better. Surgical, I probably can take 1 to maybe even 2 of these out. Soul Guide Lantern's probably completely removed. My opponent does have Lava Dart, but it's not really a thing that I care about. So this could be the 6 that we switch out. Scape Shift is being pulled out because it shouldn't be in the list anyway, but we're having some fun. If we somehow kept a few crabs in play, the Scape Shift would be pretty nice, but I don't foresee that happening. Now, because our opponent usually plays only 3 or so mana, Assassin's Trophy could be useful for them, but their Archive Trap might get them, and they might be a little worried about that. Trying to think if there's anything else in here. Veils don't make much sense. Devour Flesh could be kind of a nice one to have here. Makes them sacrifice, and it's a bit harder for me to get rid of the Stormwing. So I'm kind of looking at this maybe as a replacement for another Surgical. I could also Surgical away a Stormwing and be completely fine. Let's have the 2 here, and then the Crypt Incursion and Devour Flesh, along with Aether Gust to maybe stop them from playing multiple spells to get Stormwing out. I think I'm good with these changes here. 61 card special. Let's run it. Let's go. Woo. Gonna hide the mill. Pfft. Only true mill players just go for it. Oh gosh, here we go again. We do have a removal spell, which I kind of like here. I got double Archive Trap. Yes. It didn't let us down last time. It won't let us down this time. All right. Let's go ahead and put Misty out. Misty is going to help us get black mana for Devour Flesh. If my opponent doesn't do too much here, we can Devour Flesh. If they start attacking me, we can put Orb down. We've got a lot of things going for us here. Little Opt here. We can pretty much fetch. We do have an Overgrown Tomb. I didn't note that in the initial deck tech here. I do need a little more blue for this one here, but just something to note that we do have an extra source of green that I was missing out on. All right, so I think here our best bet is just to go ahead and Mesmeric Orb here. I could Devour Flesh one of these. Wondering if I should just Devour Flesh one of them so I'm just not taking as much. They're probably going to tap out again anyway. Let's go ahead and Devour Flesh. I've convinced myself that milling 4 here is not as good as maybe taking a lot more. My opponent gains life, not a problem here, not a problem. All right. Extra land here, opponent's got plenty of those. Monastery Swift Spear here. And a Sprite Dragon. So they're going to attack with everything. The Orb's still going to go ahead and do a reasonable amount here for the milling. And they go. Let's go ahead and get our green source down. Tapped. Let's play Orb and pass turn. A couple spells here and we're going to be pretty killed pretty quickly here. We'll yield to all of our orbs. Cool. Reasonable amount of things hit the bin. Sprite Dragons, Manamorphoses, Stormwings, all of those good things. Opponent attacks for a solid 3. I assume some spell is going to be played. Burst Lightning here. Makes it 6, 7, 8 at 4. All right, down to 4 here. Looking for something that gives me some life gain would be nice. Couple fields and a visions. All right, so we could do field. I could attempt to field Fiery Islet, but that's probably not going to happen here. Attempting to field here and not getting to is a problem for us. That being said, we're pretty dead anyway here. Let's go ahead and attempt to field. I expect them to deny this. If they don't deny this, I get to Archive Trap them a bunch. We don't. They have lethal here. I can go ahead and Visions just to see what I would have drawn. I would have drawn my Weather the Storm, but they don't have to cast anything. I needed to be able to cast a few archive traps and then the Weather the Storm. So I think the line was sound here. I don't expect them to have cast anything. They don't get to see the cards, the green, and why we have the green, which is really nice. We'll see if we can get this in game 3. Obviously a little quick here in game 2, but I'm not surprised it is, after all, prowess, and they do attack. So our Weather the Storm. Our Weather the Storm might have gained us about, what, 6? Because I would have drawn it and then just cast this, so it would have been 6. One spell here adds 1, 2, 3 extra, so if it was a bolt or something, it would have been enough. All right. Any changes here? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's just going to be run it back, not worry about it too much. Yeah, I'm good. We'll be on the play. We'll be on the play. Let's play first. Luris declared. All right, we have a Mesmeric Orb. I have a Visions. This hand feels way too slow. Way too slow. I'm going to orb them, and that is it. I think we have to mulligan this one. We need to find probably some of those green cards. Okay. This is a tough hand. It's a tough hand. I could probably get rid of Archive Trap if I kept this hand. The Weather Storm's super nice to see. I do have a Visions. I could Fatal Push something or Ruin Crab. I think I'm going to go ahead and risk this because the Weather the Storm looks super nice to have. I'm probably going to have to find the Overgrown Tomb, if I'm really honest, because we only have so many hits. Let's just take a natural draw here. Extra crab. I'm going to pass the turn one time here, and we might fetch Breeding Pool, not worrying about Fatal Push, and take a Visions draw to try to hit. If my opponent plays a Sprite Dragon, I may have to just do Overgrown Tomb here and hope to hit an island. Manamorphose. This could be Stormwing, correct? It is Stormwing. So I probably need to go get that Breeding Pool and do a Visions here. Be great to use the Visions in a better way than this, but we have a Stormwing and we need lands. Extra crab here. All right, looks like we're going to just miss on our lands. We've kept a sketchy one with the one lander and the Weather the Storm. Got a lot of crabs here. What does that buy us? Not a whole lot right now. A second land here with Aether Gust and Weather the Storm's looking really good. Sprite Dragon can be removed through Fatal Push if I do find that. Lightning Bolts the crab here and attacks for 6. Down to 11. There's a Visions. We're going to go digging. We hit a field, which is not what we wanted. Well, if they don't kill me next turn, I could Weather the Storm. Opponent plays a Swift Spear out. Spire Bluff. Abrades their own Stormwing entity. 4, 7, 8, 9 puts me to 2. Well, I have a few Weather the Storms. Weather the Storm negates this. Opponent's going to just simply attack here. I will Weather the Storm in response. We hit both Weather the Storms. If we were probably 1 mana deeper earlier, we would have been fine. All right, opponent. We kept a sketchy one lander. I think it was still worth it, though. That match 1, game 1. That was fun. We'll see if this green helps us out. It would have been helpful there. We did keep a sketchy hand. Match 2 coming up. Let's find our opponent. Now, we're queued up for match 2 here. Some of you would be like, Fluffy, why did you keep that one lander? And I'll tell you why. we had a fleeting thought to just drop the league there after joining the game in order to get the scape shift and the Soul Guide Lantern all fixed. That being said, sometimes you just play Magic to enjoy Magic, and that is what we're doing. If you're enjoying Magic, let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, all you 60% that watch and don't hit that. And let's go to match 2. Playing something a little bit out of the box. Maybe something for a following league video as well. Could we make Uro fun? Depends. Define fun. All right, we have all of our colors. We have a little bit of Soul Guide, a little bit of Archive Trap, and a little bit of Maddening. I do like that we have 4 mana. It's a little bit higher than I want, but I do like that I have the double green, got some fetch lands here, and I'm on the draw. We'll go ahead and take it and see what my opponent's up to here. Leads with Blood Crypt, which could be a Thoughtseize, or an Inquisition. Could also be a Hasty Creature. Tapping black here makes it look like they're going to be discarding, and they do. Discarding a card, going to be one of the mill spells, probably. I doubt they care about this Soul Guide Lantern right now. Although they do have probably things that are impacted by Soul Guide Lantern, example being Groxa. I doubt they take it. Maddening Cacophony, goodbye. Overgrown Tomb, sideways, go. I could put the Soul Guide Lantern into play, not worth it, I don't think, for taking some damage here. Just going to hang tight. Good draw, though. Assassin's Trophy. Does turn on Archive Trap if my opponent decides fetching is just against their, way of life. Making a little more black mana, Oh. Goblins. Not expected. Was expecting, like, Rakdos Prowess or something like that. We have a Goblin here. The Goblin Rogue making things cheaper. All right. Immediately punished for not playing the Breeding Pool first and deciding Overgrown Tomb was the better card. Okay. So, do I want them to have cheaper goblins? I don't know if I want them to have cheaper goblins. I'm thinking I want to go ahead and put the Breeding Pool into play here, and I'm going to shock it in. Probably just go ahead and Assassin's Trophy them as well. Getting rid of the cheaper spells. We'll Archive Trap them as well. This will be interesting to see how this interaction works. I'm hoping we get to see this interaction a few more times during our play. Go ahead and Archive Trap them here as well. Cool. There you go. What kind? Oh, Robber of the Riches? Lightning Bolt? Thieves? Stink Drinker? What? All right. So it's not... It's rogues. It's not goblins necessarily. It's rogues. Now I feel kind of weird killing this. We'll need to read some of these cards, unfortunately. 10th Street Dodger, haste. Can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with Defender. Thieves here, milling us a little bit more. Surgical and Waterlogged Grove hitting the bin. All right, so we're doing this apparently. They're not killing me super fast yet. Albeit, a lot of their cards do have haste. Attacks for 2 here, and looks like they're going to pass the turn back to us. Maybe they have a light up the stage. Floats black and puts a swamp down. Floats a second black. Morsel Theft, Prowl. You may cast this card for its Prowl cost if you dealt damage. Player this turn with a rogue. Target player loses 3 life and you gain 3. The spell's Prowl cost was paid, draw. I don't like this. I don't like what's happening here. All right, Crab is played here, followed by Crab. Let's go ahead and mill them some here. We're going to have some defenders, and our defenders are a relatively good size here. It looks like they're going to Fatal Push this Ruin Crab. Fatal Pushed. Crab mill. Play new Crab. So far, I don't see anything that I care about in the graveyard, I don't think. We've got Thoughtseize's, Thieves, Robbers. Nothing that comes back, I don't think. A lot of things with Prowl. Go ahead and play a Soul Guy Lantern. Can just kind of take whatever I want here. Let's just take a land in case I want to and end up drawing a Surgical Extraction. Now this Blood Chiefs is a 3/2. We could nail our own graveyard here to shrink this back down. Oh no, each opponent's graveyard, never mind. It's not a Tormod's Crypt, poor thing. All right. Well, our graveyard's relatively large here. Can't be blocked. 3/2. I'm probably going to block the 1/1 here. Hits me for 4. At least I have a redraw. Down to 8. 32 cards versus 8 life. 1 card in hand. Black mana. Stink Drinker. Whenever a rogue you control attacks and isn't blocked, things get bigger. Mills me for some more. Surgical or Fatal Push and Ruin Crab. All right. We hit a land. Let's redraw here. I need a removal spell. I said I needed a removal spell. When these are not blocked, I block like here or here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's too much. Too much. We'll do Polluted Delta here, just going after them just to get a little bit more information. We have a Rankle here. Castle Lochthwain. What are you doing, opponent? It's all the rogues. All the rogues. All right, well, we know what's going on here. We know what we need. We need Crypt Incursion, more than likely here. Veil of Summer could be potentially useful here as well. For some of the black cards, maybe the discard cards. I could see some of that being useful. I think that's probably about it. I don't see a Weather the Storm making sense. I don't even see Gaia's Blessing making a lot of sense either. So what do we take out? I like my removal. I actually sort of like the Scape Shift in this matchup. I don't know how many things I'm going to see with the Archive Trap. I saw Blackcleave Cliffs. I saw the Blood Crypts. I had to Assassin's Trophy to get things going. I think a Cling to Dust could be okay. We'll see. I didn't see Graveyard being a big thing. We could just take out the Soul Guide Lanterns and bring Crypt Veil in. And just try to hit one of these. Being able to mill them for even just like a dozen and then hitting them with a Crypt Incursion would probably just be lethal. Do that and then have the Scape Shift as the end all, and we have Luris here. It seems all right. Surgical, some of the bigger threats. I can do this. Let's do it. Let's play first. Luris declared. Now we just came off of a game where I had a 1-lander. That 1-lander had things like Weather the Storm against Prowess. I've clearly not learned my lesson because all I want to do is keep this. However, one thing that is benefiting us here that wasn't benefiting us in the last one is the amount of interaction I do have. I actually have a Cling to gain life or draw a card potentially from my opponent. I have Fatal Pushes, 3 of them to kill my opponent. And then when I finally do get an orb down, I'll eventually probably get to Visions. With that all being said, I've now justified this so that when we lose, we can just say, well, we had a good reason. So let's keep. To me, with creatures as low to the ground as theirs are, this feels like a correct thing to do. Not even going to take the initial damage. It feels correct. Someone's going to say, but Fluffy, you kept a Scape Shift, meaning you're at 61 card special. And you're just not going to draw that land. And for that, I'm disappointed in you. Not trusting us. Crab. Luckily, this Cling to Dust probably going to get this Polluted Delta. Maybe I'll scare them by not playing anything. They're like, oh no, it's all over. Really isn't, opponent. Just play your normal game. You'll beat us. Blood Crypt fetched off Polluted Delta here. And follows this up with a Thieves. I'm gonna let this go. Hedron Crab and Maddening, thank goodness. I'll probably just let the Thieves hit me and try to cling to dust the Polluted Delta here to gain 1 card deeper. Swamp. See what other things my opponent may wish to play here. Casting the Frog's Tosser. This would mill me a little bit more. I'll take 2 here, or do I just punch this off? Let's just punch this off here. Goodbye, Thieves. Goodbye. Probably just Fatal Push them again, no problems here. Looking for blue mana for Ruin Crab or Visions. In for 1, keeping our life total nice and high. Nice and high, nice and healthy. There's a Bale. Well, that doesn't do anything. Go ahead, opponent. If they play another black card, we might just Veil instead of Cling. Cling could be used for life gain as well right now. 3rd mana here. Now we have given them the Frog Tosser, so if they have some goblins here, they get those in nice and cheap. This all hinges on drawing this land, I think. My opponent attacks me for 1. I think I will allow this to happen here. Light at the stage, I think, is something they could be running. Opponent connects. Okay, the Morsel Theft here. It is target player. Could have Veiled. We'll see if they play another one. I'm gonna get him. You watch. Got him. Veil this one. Why wait? Because we forgot it was target. Don't worry about it. Land has been found and it's blue. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Opponent goes further here with a Blood Crypt here, getting a Stink Drinker in. The Bandit. It is 4 mana. Fatal Pushes can deal with this, albeit a little bit awkwardly. Based on where we're at here, and that this can make things really grow, I'm tempted to do this Polluted Delta. So I can do Fatal Push, Fatal Push. This is probably okay, because I'm probably winning if I can just clear these cards. I don't even have to get blue necessarily. I could get my basic Swamp here. So let's go ahead and clear the board. Plan to get Crab down. Wonder if I'm supposed to go ahead and just go for the Watery Grave here. I get Hurts. But then I can play Crab, Palace, and Orb. Life total is a resource. Life total is a resource. Kill, kill, pass turn. And we'll happily do the kill, kill here. All right, opponent, good luck. Untap. We're getting close to that Visions being just really useful, and Cling to Dust is probably going to benefit us as well. There's a castle, tapping black here. Thoughtseize. So here I would take, personally, the Visions, but we'll see what my opponent thinks is more frightening here. I would take the Visions because I think that gets us further back into the game. They might take Cling because the life gain and the draw is too nice of an option here. We got the Tin Street here, which is the 1/1 that can run around crabs here. Hits us for 1 and finishes off with no other follow-ups here. All right, let's go ahead and play a Ruin Crab. Let's put the Palace in. We'll go ahead and always yield to our Crab. There's an Emrakul. All right. We didn't take all the surgicals out. In fact, we took none of them out. So, my opponent's playing an Emrakul. We'll beat this, don't worry. Opponent's floating black here. Fatal Pushes our Crab, and we have an Orb being played. All right, so we're gonna have to almost mill ourselves enough for Visions and find that surgical. It won't be too bad here. We just need to watch our life total. We also have Crypt Incursions to get rid of some of those nasty things as well. We'll get there. Have confidence, chat. And YouTube. And all of you. Have confidence. Do you have confidence yet? Nope. Okay. Understood. Understood. Down to 10 here. Tax for the 1. Does not activate castle, so they have a follow-up play. Plays this morsel here, dealing the whole 3 prowl, 3 gain, 3 life helix thing going on. They drew another card here and follow up with a double black and a new frog tosser. We mill 3. You can grab Maddening Field. There is a scape shift. Things get interesting here. So we don't quite have the double green, but they have no idea that this is here. I could put a Luris into hand, or I can use Cling to Dust. We probably have to put Luris into hand as just the fallback here, gaining 3 with my opponent having nothing in hand. It's probably just not a good and wise decision. So Luris, come here. Pass turn. If I feel the need to, I will use Visions of Beyond, albeit we're close here on our side with 12 cards, 13, 14, 15, not to mention my opponent playing things and attacking, assuming they don't run into the Emrakul again. They're going to be at 11. Hi, Emrakul. Goodbye, Emrakul. It's a shame they didn't draw that one. Darn. All right, we'll see what this castle is going to bring us. We might be just hit for 4. In for a pair so far. No follow-up. A land wouldn't be bad here. So we're at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I could go to 16 and then it's 17, 18, 19, 20. I think this is okay to go ahead and float here and then mill the 4 here, allowing us to play Luris and Crab. This allows us to get closer to Visions here, which feels like the right line. I also have my own Field of Ruin, which I could hit myself with, because I am going to pick up a card here. So Luris played 1, 2, 3. I think I play a Hedron Crab here, even though that would die, and hit myself with the Field of Ruin. They're going to bolt this, it looks like. Bolts Luris. I'm going to go ahead and field my Hedron Crab myself for the moment. Go over a few Assassin's trophies here. All right, with the untap of Mesmeric Orb, we are going to be in good shape here. I probably have to block. A couple Rankles here and a Lightning Bolt. Interesting to not use just the Lightning Bolt upstairs, but I suppose the Luris here blocking would be really not good for them. All right, so my opponent's going to attack here. They're going to attack for 4. In some ways, this is super tempting to not even worry about this and go to 1. Albeit that could be really problematic since I have 3 Assassin's trophies and some Fatal Pushes already in the yard. Blocking here saves 2 points, which pushed me to 3. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the risk here and just go to 1. I believe we're winning here with a Visions into like a Crypt Incursion. I believe that's how we're winning. We're not going to win probably in any other crazy fashion. Tax for 4, down to 1. Not to mention I do have the Cling to get 3 of this back anyway if I totally whiff. We can probably leave up Watery Grave as a saving grace here. We'll see, we'll see. All right, mill enough here so that I am good to go, and I think I'm gonna let it all happen. Some Ruin Crabs, Orb. We have a watery grave here. Okay, so I can probably just go ahead and start with the visions, and let's see what we end up drawing. So visions first, draw 3. Okay, so we got another crab, which is a great blocker. What I can do here, what it looks like, is I could play second crab and cling something. Crypt Incursion hasn't passed us by just yet. Wonder if it's safe to play the orb. Probably not worth it. Play Ruin Crab here. And then play our land and then cling to dust. Maybe Emrakul. I'm not going to save the target just yet. We might be bouncing the Hedron Crab around. Alright, we're going to go ahead and allow them to untap here. Untapping and then using Cling on the Emrakul gives us a chance here, albeit a small one. I'm going to set a quick stop here. So we don't hit Emrakul, and I don't really want them to draw anything too crazy here. They have Bolt in hand, they do kill me. I'm going to go ahead and Cling away... I don't know. Just get one of the rankles out of here. Let's get rid of some probably lands on our side to start with. Need one more card. Take a crab. Take a crab. All right, so we cling here. If they have Bolt in hand, they win. Wouldn't really matter too much. We go up to 4. Opponent plays a land here, shocks it in. Shocking in is somewhat interesting. Makes black mana. Fatal pushes Crab, Hedron Crab here, instead of Fatal pushing Ruin Crab. They're gonna boost up the castle here again and attack for 2. Okay. Interesting decisions here. Gonna block and go to 2 now instead of 1. We've gained 1. Thank goodness. Okay. We mill some. Not much I can do about this. Surgical Breeding Pool. Archive Trap. Island and Archive Trap. I found the Crypt Incursion. Alright, so how do I not die? Probably can't do too much more with the whole milling things. Don't have an Archive Trap. I don't have another green source. I need to somehow hit that Emrakul when it shows up. So I guess it's just like bounce Palace here. Maybe I'm okay with doing the orb. If I do a second orb, I might be okay, but then tapping out with Crypt Incursion, I could die. Let's be super careful about this and just do it so that I have the Crypt Incursion. We'll mill them for 3 here. So far I haven't hit it. We'll let them untap now. Trying to just hit as many creatures as possible here. All right, before they draw here, I'm really tempted to go ahead and Crypt Incursion. They have so many creatures here, and then we can worry about Cling to Dust afterwards. Let's go ahead and nail them with a Crypt Incursion. That should gain us plenty of life. Now we just have to manage our 19 cards remaining here. Oh, they just concede to that. Oh, okay. That's lucky. I'm not sure the concession's really warranted there. I'm going to mill 3 here. So I mill 1, 2, 3, and end up drawing just a land. and then probably do the Palace, and then draw, Veil. A few of our upcoming draws. I don't think they needed to concede there, but we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. So definitely a lot of ways to kill Laris. I liked all my fatal pushes. I liked the Assassin's Trophy. Obviously, we need to keep the Surgicals in. So this says cards in graveyard lose all abilities. So Emrakul would lose all the abilities. So I want to bring these in? I mean, it's an extra blocker. I don't particularly mind that. It's probably better than Escape Shift at this point. Bring one more in over like a singleton Archive Trap and just like, let's go for it. Let's do it. Soul Guide Lantern's obviously an option as well, but I'm going to try this Yixlid. I've always wanted to, and so that's what we're going to do. Laris here, a couple crabs here. We do have this random Overgrown Tomb again. I think I can keep this though. No way to deal with Emrakul immediately. That's all right though. Having this Fatal Push should be just fine. Blood Crypt started for our opponents here. Red mana, we have the Tin Street. The one that dodges. In for one. There you go. All right. There's an Archive Trap. I don't need any more blue or black. I can go get probably just the basic here. Basic island and play the crab and pass the turn. Crab blocks nicely here. Don't have to rush out the Overgrown Tomb just yet. We'll probably play second crab, Overgrown Tomb sideways. Maybe I get to Archive Trap them at some point. Maybe I hold the Archive Trap till after Emrakul's been dealt with. We'll find out here. Black Cleave Cliffs for them. Double black. The Frog Tosser. All right, hits me for one. Down to 17. Frog Tosser might be worth just killing. Obviously, this is a nice one to kill as well. Breeding Pool, okay. Start with Ruin Crab here. Lead then with an Overgrown Tomb, shock in and kill the Frog Tosser. Not opposed to this. Let's go ahead and yield to the crabs. Mill. Frog Tosser enables some things. Being pinged for one every turn just doesn't seem like that big of a threat at this point in the game, so we'll just allow this one to sit here and do its thing with its cool hat. Okay, untap here. 3 mana. Gonna play one. Does so. Blood Crypt comes into play. Untap, tapped. Tap, 2 life. Untapped, tapped. Tapped it is. No life loss. And we win. Not entirely sure why they would do this, other than they just don't have removal. And they're thinking, okay, I have some way to deal with Emrakul. In this case, I would encourage you to continue to play it out. A couple top decks here are just going to be lands, it looks like. Nothing too detrimental to them. We'd eventually get that Laris into play and get the Maddening, but for the most part, we're not actually beating my opponent. Now, we are blocking them, and maybe that's why they've just given up. That is what? Match 2? Match 3. Up next. Let's see what we get. Match 3 queued up here. I'm about to play some more Sultai. Mill. Now, is Escape Shift doing anything yet? No. Would Soul Guide Lantern have done more? Yes. Did we get rid of it? No. Why? Because we forgot to. Match 3 opponent. Let's see if we're on the play or the draw. The Weather the Storms have been nice to have, and the Veil has actually been decent to have as well. I think it did win us that game, though. We did go to 1, right? Just saying. We did go to 1. Also, Weather the Storm would have stopped that Prowl stuff. It would have just basically negated it. Interesting. Match 3. Let's find this opponent. We're queued up here. Let's see if we get the play or the draw. Let's find this opponent and let's play some Magic. The opponent has been found. Here we go. I want to play first. Doesn't everybody? I see you over there, rack player in the corner. Yeah, you can say it. Hey, but we get to. Let's play first. All right, Luris declared here. Opponent is Kazna. I thought it was Karnza, but it's not. 1 billion lands here, Soul Guide, Lantern, Surgical. Well, Surgical won't be very useful here because we won't mill anything, and Soul Guide Lantern may be a complete whiff depending on my opponent. We'll mulligan this. This one's a lot better here. I can easily ditch one Soul Guide Lantern here. Got a nice crab as well. Gonna just go ahead and lead off with that crab here. Got the Misty Rainforest that fixes all of our colors. Got some interesting cards here. Definitely worth a shot. And let's do it. Play the crab. Not too worried about losing the crab immediately. If it's a bolt, it's not bolting me. If it's green mana, it's probably not getting rid of the crab. Utopia Sprawl here on the snow-covered forest. And red has been declared. Go ahead and do a Misty. Let's go ahead and also save this target. Utopia Sprawls and Pillages and all of that good stuff here. I'll get rid of a Pillage, that's fine. Go ahead, opponent. I do need them to fetch for this Archive Trap to be useful. They do have a Windswept Heath, that's good for us. We do have 2 Visions here. Definitely don't really want to use the Soul Guide Lantern. A little bit of a non-bow present in the list. This will be a little awkward if they play a Blood Moon here. I'll fetch for basic island just because I have the ability to. We're not going to use this until I have to. Go ahead and nail them for mill 13. Oh, there's a few things in here. All right, we'll take it back. Breeding Pool here. Probably go ahead and shock this in. Looks like they might be dealing with this. Now, I do have black in the list. We have Fatal Pushes, Cling to Dust, and Assassin's Trophies. I haven't drawn any of these. Because I have 2 Visions here, I think I'm going to go ahead and get that extra island. We are going to mill them up to 19 here, and this bolt means that these Visions are both online. This makes me just go, hey, let's go ahead and Visions and see where we're at. Let's go ahead and Visions again, really see where we're at. Can't use this just yet. Soon, though. Soon. Polluted Delta gets us basic Swamp, which doesn't look too bad. Using 2 Visions here, I could also go ahead and probably cantrip the Soul Guide Lantern. Opponent's got 31 cards to go here and does need to attack us, so the Mesmeric Orb's a great pickup here. I actually don't mind the Palace in the Clouds, and we've got Luris. Don't forget about him. Utopia Sprawl on the basic forest. That's smart. Don't want to get a Field of the Ruin here. Also, Blood Moon could shut that off. Green, green, red are the options here on this snow-covered forest. Blood Moon. Definitely going to go fetch here, getting that swamp. And probably going to go ahead and just cash this in as well. Field of the Ruin. Not a bad card, but not very useful anymore. All right, we have a few lands here, just a couple. The scariest thing for us is probably a pillage on one of these islands. Not a whole lot I can do, but if we can at least dodge a pillage here, I'll get to fire off a normal casted Archive Trap, which is really the only way we're doing it now. No fetches anymore. Glorybringer and Magus of the Moon hit the bin. 28 cards to go here. Floating 4 mana. A Bloodbraid Elf. Well, we can't kill that. Can't really get rid of God of Destiny either. That being said, attacking here, it's 1, 2, 3. It's a mill for 3. It's not the greatest, but it is something. I'll have to be aware of God of Destiny here as well. We mill 2. Surgical and Mesmeric Orb. The Orb would have been really nice to pick up here. Didn't though, unfortunately. We don't have too much going on here. I could put Luris into hand, but I can't put Luris into play. Let's go ahead and put an Overgrown Tomb here and see if I can Archive Trap them near the end of their turn. Remember, our life total doesn't totally matter here, although they do have the option to hit me for a good 7 plus 2, 9, putting me below half health here. 23 cards remaining. This milling for 13 puts it to 10. A maddening off the top would do it. Depending on how they attack here, might do it as well. Goes after the orb. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if they had Glorybringer, putting me to 2. Glorybringer plus Bolt kills me. Bloodbraid Elf plus probably Bolt kills me too, right? Yep. Extra Bloodbraid Elf here. We have a Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. So there's really nothing that they can probably hit here. Seasoned Pyromancer would be super nice for them to cast. Drawing a few more cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably is the mill that they're coming up to. Maybe 6. Hits me for 10, putting me to 3. Maddening is now lethal. I believe Mesmeric Orb is now lethal. New Archive Trap is lethal. We have a lot of lethal spells here. We've got a lot of them. Down to 7. Here we go. Top of the library is a... Well, won't matter. We're going to mill the top away. Surgical Extraction. Surgical Extraction could do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to find something that's a 1 of that I know they play a 4 of. If we could do that, my opponent may mill out here on upkeep. I see 3 Arbor Elves. I see 2 Coithus. I see 2 Bloodbraid. We know 2 are in. I know there was 4 Lightning Bolts. Utopia Sprawls are already in play. I see a Singleton Glorybringer, 2, 3. I see 3 Glorybringers, 2 Pillages here. I see 2 Windswept, 3 Windswept Heath, a couple Snow Covereds, Blood Moons. I don't see anything other than really this Bird of Paradise. If they run 4 Birds of Paradise and 2 of them are not in hand, that could be enough. It's unlikely, though. They usually run a lot more of the Arbor Elves, but they have already 4 here in the graveyard. Pillage-wise, we have 1 Pillage here, 2 Pillage. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to mill them 2 with the Surgical here. I need to mill them 2. 1 Blood Moon here, 2, 3, so that would not do it. So Bird of Paradise being a mill for 2 could be feasible. Glorybringer's probably not, since I already see 2. I see 1, 2 Seasoned Pyromancers, and there's 1 main, so no. I see 1 Chandra. This 1 Chandra is kind of interesting here. Chandra could be it. I've seen lists run 3 of those. I need 2, and I need it to not be in hand. They just played Seasoned Pyromancer, so it's not like they would have had any way to play anything here as well. That's a tough call. It could be Chandra or Birds of Paradise, I think. What do we think is more likely? Seasoned Pyromancer here, drawing into... It's tough to say. The other thing I could do here is I could wait for them to mill and see what's remaining. Let's go ahead and put a stop on their upkeep. We'll go ahead and play our land, that's fine. Okay, so they end up milling here. Whole bunch of other cards. So I need to nail the 1 of in their deck. The 1 of in their deck. I see 1 Bird of Paradise here, making me a little nervous to hit that now. 1 Magus. 2, 3. That could be a Magus. Sometimes they play 4 of those. 1 sec. Have Surgical. I'll let him know. Have a surgical attempting to figure out the last card. I've got plenty of time here. We got time to think about this. So we have 3 cards that remain in the entire list. I don't think it's Glorybringer. There's 3 here. That just doesn't seem right. This Chandra looks very interesting. How many Maguses do we have? We have 1 Magus. 2. We have 3 Magus too. 3 Magus as well. This one Chandra just doesn't look right. The list has to play 3, right? They play Bloodbraid Elves though like crazy. We already have all 4 of those. Is that Chandra one of? Is that Chandra one of? Alright, Chandra. We love you just like you love us. Show us the victory. Come on, Chandra, one time. Is that it? Is that gonna be the one of? Be the one of. Chandra, lead us to victory. Oh no, it was a Wooded Foothills! Was there a Wooded Foothills in here? There was. I wasn't thinking about the actual lands here. Seeing a one of Wooded Foothills, that might have been it. Close. Close. All right. Looks like we're going to the next game here. All right, we had to hit the Wooded Foothills. Didn't think about the lands. Didn't think about them. All right, Weather the Storms here. Aether Gusts as well. Got the Crypt Incursion. Looks good. All of this is delicious. Scape Shift out. Soul Guide Lantern I expect should be fine to take out. I'm going to take Surgicals out. They bring in something like Gaia's Blessing. We'll just deal with it with the remaining Clings and Surgicals, right? 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 I'm going to bring 1 Surgical back and take an Assassin's Trophy. Although Assassin's Trophy is my way to get rid of a Blood Moon. Let's think about this briefly. Let's think about this. Maybe it's just a singleton Archive Trap. Like, the Archive Trap's super cute, but my opponent's probably going to try to Blood Moon us. Maybe they don't tap as much here either, the Orb. Alright, would I like to play first? Yes. Luris Declared. Well, we have Crab. We have a 1-lander. With Pillage and Blood Moon, I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. Plus the Surgical's not the strongest card. Oh, no lands. Well, that's cool too. Mulligan, get out of here. Well, I have the Crypt Incursion in hand. I guess we'll keep this, getting rid of Visions and Maddening. Hope we can find the blue mana. If not, we've got the Crypt Incursion. That should be enough, right? Right? Maybe I don't even worry about this crab. Just double Maddening them. Get rid of Visions and Hedron Crab. Let's do it. Who needs a blocker anyway? I'm going first. Can't even play the crab. Why would you keep the crab? Okay, well, we tried to sniff out the final cards there. Didn't quite get there. Snow-covered forest for our opponent. Utopia Sprawl on the basic forest, naming red. We do hit our Polluted Delta, which is super nice. I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch and go ahead and get a Maddening going anyway. We'll just hope they don't pillage me. Don't pillage me. All right, I do see a pillage in the yard, so that's really good for us. We've got this Field of Ruin as well to activate for our Archive Traps. Stomping Ground for our opponent, shocked in here, no surprises. Double red. Pillages away our island. Pretty much no surprise there. All right, so we have a Surgical. Can stop on their, oops, draw step. Probably okay to just steal away the Bloodbraid Elf. That probably ruins us the most. We already see 2 pillages here as well. So let's take something that's really frustrating. Does make our Crypt Incursion a little bit worse by taking the 1 of. I think we'll be okay though. They do have 4 Glory Bringers. Let's keep that in mind. Chandra, Glory Bringer, and Seasoned Pyromancer. It's gonna get sketchy. I suppose I could have left the Bloodbraid Elf there. I did not look to see if they had a way to get rid of my mill abilities. Probably should have looked for that. 4 mana here. It's gonna be Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Pretty good here, pretty good. Ups for damage. We got a Glory Bringer showing up next. Weather the Storm, definitely not a card worth it right now. Windswept Teeth, Glory Bringer showing up. 6 damage total here. Means it's 3-turn clock. That's not looking good. In for 4 more. We're down to 11. Looking for blue mana. We do find the blue mana. So I probably just get lucky here and play the Maddening to mill more and then hope that Crypt Incursion is enough here. This is 6 damage, so we're risking our opponent just killing me here. It's a Bird of Paradise. They probably don't play this. Down to 8. Down to 4. No bolt. No bolt. All right. Let's just go ahead and Crypt Incursion now. If they have double bolt, they're holding it. I like Crypt Incursioning here before they do anything else. I'm not milling any more cards here. Up to 25. All right. We're back in the game. Go ahead and just F6 through here. We do have a Chandra Emblem. And they do Emblem. Deep breath, everyone. Deep breath. Pillages away my blue and hits us for 5 and hits us for 4, putting me to 16. Uh-oh. Down to 16 we go. Good sign if they don't play any follow-up here, although it might be just Seasoned Pyromancer based on them only having 1 red. Arbor Elf for 5. Out. Alright, I have an Archive Trap and I have a Cling. I suppose we'll just Cling. Who knows what. This is 5 damage. They need 2 spells here. Need 2 spells. Spell number 1. And if it's a Seasoned Pyromancer, I'm good as dead. Drops the land before playing the Seasoned Pyromancer. In for 5. Down to 6 here. Gaining 3 doesn't really do me a lot here. I need them to whiff. Wooded Foothills to the bin here and 2 unknown cards. Cling to Dust on a creature would only get me to 3. Or sorry, for 4. It would only gain me 3. That'll do it. That'll do it. The Chandra will do it. Chandra let us down. Let us down. Another loss here. We're currently 1 and 2 with the Sultai versions of Mill. No scape shifts have been had. Almost had it with the Surgical. We'll see you in match 4. 1-2, a bit behind here, playing the Sultai Mill version. We did take this from a preliminary. See if it continues to do well. It has done well. I'm definitely not disappointed with it. I've actually enjoyed the option of having an Assassin's Trophy, not to mention the Veil and the Weather the Storm have been pretty decent. Perhaps, though, splashing into this green doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the Weather the Storm, with that being that you have Crypt Incursion as an option for you, and you could just be playing 2 more of those. We'll see if Weather the Storm benefits us, though, here. Match 4 coming up. We'll find in our opponent. Maybe we'll get that Scape Shift win. Getting to play first. Good sign. Declaring Luris against our Luris opponent. No lands again, and I cannot imagine this is because I added one card. We'll mulligan this. And we have now a hand that I can kind of get behind. I will probably just keep this and ditch a Waterlogged Grove. I like having a little bit of black here as well. All right, crab, and let's begin, opponent. My opponent kept all 7 here. We're leading with a crab off of the Palace in the Clouds. Opponent's got a Windswept Heath, really good for us, knowing that they are a fetching deck. It keeps our archive traps live for later in the game. Temple Garden here, and shocks us in. And we have the Elvish Reclaimer. Nice. All right, new crab here. Play the Ruined Crab. Going to shock in here. This will mill them. This Surgical is going to look pretty good as well. Go ahead and yield to both of these. Nothing frightening just yet. Let's go ahead and Fatal Push the Elvish Reclaimer. And I don't think I want a Surgical the Elvish Reclaimer. I'd like to hit a Titan if possible. Palace in the Clouds is super good here with double crab on board. Opponent plays a Flagstones, something we could have Surgical, not wishing to. Wow, this is good. Crab here. Bounce Palace. Replay Clouds. They have Path as an option, but if they path something now, it's going to hurt. Triggers. Mill a few, opponent. The call has been initiated here. They're going to call for something so that they don't have it missing. But I could steal that Dryad. Primal. We'll just go ahead and steal a Primal right here. I'll take the 2 damage to do it. So we have a Dryad here and just ways to probably, if I'm honest, Valakut us. They have a Singleton Valakut left. All right. Sounds fantastic. No attack here. I'm expecting this Dryad to be played. 32 cards remaining. Cling is more than likely just used on something that allows me to draw a card. Looking for a fetch land. Dryad played. Bojuka Bog. That's completely fine. Goes after themselves, which is not a bad idea. Well, instead of clinging, we're just going to bounce this, replay it, mill them for a bunch here, and put the orb into play. With this kind of lead up here, I don't see how they're going to beat me. Mills 4 here, not to mention that I can mill 9 with the Palace and the Crabs. There you go, opponent. Good luck. 18 cards to go. Looks like a decent matchup for us. Sideboard-wise, definitely some Aether Gusts. We'll see, we'll see. There we go, taking it down. This is definitely probably worthy of a Scape Shift, so we're going to give this a shot. Crypt Incursion looking good here. Aether Gust looking exceptional as well. I don't see a reason for Veil. Guy's Blessing, no. Weather Storm, no. They don't really bring anything from the graveyard. A Devour Flesh could be useful. If we find a 4th slot, we'll bring this in. Mystical Disputes, probably not. Assassin's Trophy looks okay here. I don't mind this. They don't search too much, but we can help with that. Don't see a reason for Clings. I don't really see a reason for Soul Guide Lantern. That would be our 4, and we could end up adding Devour Flesh here. Does this make sense? I think it's going to be close. Bojuka Bog kind of messes with our visions here. My opponent clearly does want to search, so Archive Traps are going to be fine there with all the Elvish Reclaimers. I think it's okay to have these Fatal Pushes as well. Killing a Dryad's not definitely a bad idea, because that could kill us. Let's go ahead and bring these in. I don't see a reason to worry about this. I have the Surgicals in case they bring something in that prevents Mill from winning. And with that, we'll submit and go to game number 2. Probably with the advantage. We'll see, though. Gonna keep a hand with 4 Archive Traps if I happen to get it. No land for Archive Trap. Here we go. Right here. Right here? Just show it to me. You've been showing me a bunch of landless hands. Do it again. Just give me the nuts. Well. I think I can go ahead and keep this. We've got Crab here with a Crypt Incursion. Gaining some life will be nice. If we can find the Surgical, it'll be super nice as well. I may hesitate on the Hedron Crab here on the off chance my opponent has a path. Temple Garden here and doesn't shock it in. We'll just play basic island pass turn. I am going to go ahead and wait here. There's not a whole lot on 2 that I'm just dying to play. My opponent's up to 63, 64, 65-ish cards here, it looks like. Because they brought everything in. Opponent explores here after fetching Windswept Heath here. Plays a Field of the Dead. We can get rid of that. We'll worry about getting rid of it in a minute. Hedron Crab with the Surgical off the top's a nice one. Go ahead and save the targets and fire them off at them. Here we go. Let's go ahead and fetch as well. I think I'm okay with going ahead and getting an Overgrown Tomb. Not going to shock it in here. Mill some more. We do see Dryad, we do see Primeval Titan. I'm going to go ahead and Surgical away the Primeval Titan. This is more correct to wait on the draw step, but I don't need them having a Veil. Alright, we have a Celestial Purge to beat. We have a pair of Valakuts here. Celestial Purge. There's a Cosmic Butcher of Truth, so this is the card we're going to have to worry about. We do have Crypt Incursion to clear that. Some Skyclaves in here as well. Raminauts are pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a quick screenshot of the hand just because that doesn't stay up in Moto. Thank you, Moto. Alright, looks good. I wouldn't mind stealing the Dryad away with a future Surgical. We'll see if we get lucky like that. Alright, opponent explores. This was their top deck. They have Ghost Quarter Selesnya Sanctuary. Gets to play an extra thing. They might just put Sanctuary and then put Temple Garden back in sideways. The Purge is interesting because we just have Luris for the most part. Sanctuary played. Picked up the Forest, replayed the Forest. So we have a Call, Purge, and Ghost Quarter and an Unknown card. Nothing I'm too worried about at the moment. Let's go ahead and mill them a little bit more here with the Palace in the Clouds. Uses the Call. What are we going to pick up with a Call? Dryad? They don't want to pick up Kozilek. Search your card, reveal it. Ram, you not. Alright, Ram. So, let's go ahead and Field of Ruin. Mills them some here. I think I'm okay with this Blast Zone my opponent's going to have. Let's go ahead and wait for the Field of Ruin to hit the Blast Zone they're probably going to replay here with Ramunat, and then we can Assassin's Trophy. This does give them the Field of the Dead, which is a bit of a problem. We'll see what they pick up of Ramunat. It's the Excavator, by the way. Relic here. Okay. Tireless Tracker. Huh. Wonder if I'm gonna... Let's go ahead and fire off the Field of Ruin on the Field of Dead. They're not bringing back Blast Zone here. If they play Ramunat, they'll have already played a land for the turn. Ramping this ever so slightly, but I can probably beat a Tireless Tracker. We have a lot of blue in hand. Let's go ahead and get the Swamp. Hoping that we don't mill over Kozilek here, and we don't. I need a moment from Kozilek. There's a Ghost Quarter here. That's fine. Celestial Purge and an Unknown card. The Relic's interesting because it blanks the Crypt Incursion, but if they do that, they shuffle less things into their hand. Surgical. All right. Things are getting real interesting now. I can Assassins or Crypt Incursion, but I can't do both. Let's put a Watery Grave in sideways for starters. All right. And I guess I'll just pass the turn. Pops the clue to draw a card, making Tireless Tracker bigger. I do have Luris. We'll get to Luris in a bit. I think if my opponent decides to... This attack's totally fine. Have at me. I don't need to give you a big hug. If they play the Raminaut, I probably Surgical away at this point the Field of the Dead. How many creatures are in the yard? We have a Rex Sage, so it's 1, Dryad 2, Dryad 3, 4 with the Elvish Reclaimer. Let's go ahead and attempt to Surgical the Field of the Dead here, but I'm going to pay for it. This might get Relic to pop here, and this means there's less in the graveyard, and the Crypt Incursion wouldn't be worth it at the moment. They'll go ahead and exile their own field here as well. This is an option for them as well. Okay. So that's okay, because they don't get the field back, and I think I can beat these 2 creatures. They put Blast Zone into play, which can kill the crab. Not a big problem for us at the moment. Not a big problem. We got that Luris. So Raminaut's been played, Celestial Purge still in hand. Some other random nonsense here as well. Are they gonna just pop this immediately? They do. Kills Relic as well. Interesting. Okay. So we have a Visions, which we just happen to top deck here, which allows me to draw some nice total cards here. I know they can get another Blast Zone back if I leave this around. We could do 1, 2, and then I could fire off to Crypt Incursion, which gains a lot of life. Might be worth it here just to do that this turn. Not worry about the Assassin's Trophy. Sorry, not worry about the... I don't know what I'm worried about. Probably just need to kill this so they can't keep ramping up. This Tireless Tracker obviously is going to grow a little bit. Am I worried about that growing? The Assassin's Trophy allows them to really grow this, but every land drop is going to be a problem anyway. Let's go ahead and Assassin's Trophy the Raminaut here. We'll play a Palace of the Clouds in, and we'll leave Crypt Incursion and Visions open. My opponent gets a Bajuka Bog, will Crypt Incursion, probably, to gain life, because we've got to beat the Tireless Tracker. Them drawing cards is not a bad thing for us, because it could mean that Kozilek ends up in their hand. We almost actually want that scenario to possibly happen. We've already taken the Primeval Titans. Explorers here. Elvish Reclaimer, pretty good, pretty good. Attack for 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. If they pop both of these clues, I'm really tempted to go ahead and Visions. I could also Visions here, finding a Fatal Push, pop Palace into the hand here. Go from there. Let's go ahead and Visions in response here to see if I hit a Fatal Push. I hit lands. So the answer is no. No Fatal Push. Oh, my opponent's found a Field of the Dead. Really good for them. I found Fatal Push. It was 1 deeper. 1 deeper. Okay. 3, 4, 5 here. 5 doesn't kill me. Put the field down, kill the Field of the Dead. Shoot the Tireless Tracker, hoping they don't have a Veil in hand. Crypt Incursion to gain a lot of life and try to win from there. Gives them another clue, but that's probably okay. I have to do this before Elvish Reclaimer untaps. Only because they could have Bojuka Bog. So let's go ahead and grab their graveyard here and gain lots of life, up to 25. Got rid of the Field of the Dead too, and 5 damage a turn gives me plenty of turns here. We can always find Luris and get some crabs into play, and maybe get that Scape Shift. We are running out of lands in our deck. That's maybe something we didn't consider with this added weird card of Scape Shift. Opponent calls here. They've drawn that since we've seen their hand. The only thing we know about is Celestial Purge. So this call here could go get a Dryad. Dryad could be then turned on with Elvish Reclaimer. Oh, they just get another Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, I'm good with that. They still have Dryad, right? They should. Draws with Clue. Keeping in mind that Luris really is just a one-shot here to get rid of the Celestial Purge. It's actually not doing me a whole lot. It's going to get a crab back. That's all it would do. Extra Reclaimers here. It's a lot of Reclaimers. Let's take a redraw. Orb is nice. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. So Luris to hand. And an orb down. It's worth a shot. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. That's half my life total, but they end up milling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Putting them down a little ways. Tapping more things means more here. Pops the Clue. Mills an extra 2 and drew the card. Take a mill. Mill. There goes a Valakut. That's good. Oh, there goes both of them. All right, we're not dying to Valakut. Thank goodness. 16 cards to go. 16 cards to go. We know about Kozilek, though. Maybe they draw it by accident. We gotta hope. We gotta hope. Down to 9. This is where Soul Guide Lantern would be more beneficial for us. Soul Guide Lantern to clear the graveyard when they mill over it. We just don't have that luxury. We'll hope they drew it. Down to 9. Mill 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 12. 12 cards. Luris plus a crab makes it 9 cards. Maddening does not get it for us. Radiant Fountain. That's fine. Sure. Top of the library after mill is... it's a bonus crab. That might be enough. There was an archive trap, which would have been not quite lethal. I say this might be enough. It really isn't, unless they have the Kozilek in hand. Play Luris. So play Luris. Let's do Luris off this, this, and this. So the other thing I could do is another orb here. If I play another orb here, my opponent will mill 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Their attack, if they drew Kozilek, I win. If they don't, I lose. I play Luris plus crab here instead and do a land. It's a mill of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little bit less. Let's go ahead and put Luris down here And I'm pretty sure I do have an orb here, so we'll cast the orb. And we'll cast a crab and put a land into play. Breeding pool tapped. We're just gonna hope this is enough. Play crab. Breeding pool. Gotta hope they draw it, right? Mill includes 3 cards. That didn't work. Butcher goes back to hand here. We're going to bring these Soul Guide Lanterns back. Celestial Purge the Lurrus here and attack me. This does shrink this stuff, so we're got that going for us, I suppose. Until all this happens. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, these big again. Look, they're 3/4s again. Well, I'm blocking a Reclaimer here. Top of the library is a Fatal Push. All right, opponent, you win that one. We need a way to get rid of the Kozilek, which will be the Soul Guide Lanterns. Surgicals are probably still okay. Devour Flesh looking a little bit weaker here. Probably can strip a Fatal Push or two because I have the Assassin's trophies. That brings in my Soul Guide Lanterns. We could probably win from there. We have 21 lands. Let's keep that in mind for scape shifts. Let's give it a shot. Here we go. We're on the play. Let's play first. Lurrus. Well, it's tough to keep this one up. We'll go ahead and keep this. We got Field of Ruins. We got a Soul Guide Lantern. My opponent's kept all of their cards in their library. Just gotta get rid of the Kozilek. And we'll be good to go. My opponent mulls to 6, mulls to 5. They have a ley line that they're mulliganing to, which I did not see, but if they do, at least we have Assassin's Trophy. All right. They have kept 5, 66 cards to go. Here we are. Windswept Heath is the opener. Fetching immediately. Temple Garden in Sideways. Ooh, we have the Scape Shift. Well then. All right. Oh, there's Kozilek. I could have had it. Could have had it. We'll get the Soul Guide Lantern down. We'll go get our extra black. Green here, mill them for a little bit. Pass turn. All right, so we had the chance to get rid of the Kozilek and didn't have the Soul Guide Lantern in play. Wasn't thinking that it would be important immediately. We've been fooled. It was only 3 cards, so we'll see if those 3 matter. Give me another crab. Just do it. Do it. I'll take another crab, especially with the Scape Shift. It's all coming together here in match 4. Snow Cover Forest played for our opponent. 3 cards in the bin. And it appears no follow-up. All right. We'll happily... Ooh, path. All right, they just path here. Totally fine for them to do that. We'll get a little more blue here. Play our Field of Ruin down, and I'll probably just give them the turn back here. Field of Ruin, just being able to target some of the nasty things that they could play is definitely more in my wheelhouse. There's a Valakut, that would constitute for one of those nasty things. Let's see if I draw a crab first. Get a Maddening. Let's go ahead and cast a Maddening here. Play a field. Up to 13 cards here. I think it'll be okay to leave the Valakut alone for the moment. Might even use the Waterlogged Grove here. We will actually go ahead and fetch here, because I can get black and get ready to set up Luris. I mean, that extra black may be very important as well. Archive Trap right on time. 1, 2, 3 here. And we'll just put Luris into hand. Pass the turn. They go searching with Elvish Reclaimer. I can Archive Trap them. I can't field anything. Just want... Oh. Field of the Dead. Okay. I'm good with that one. I can get rid of that one. I'll just pass turn here. Ooh. Surgical extraction, huh? I'm going to wait this turn. I would love to be able to surgical. We'll see if they use Elvish Reclaimer here. By them doing that, really makes me want to fire off an Archive Trap. And then also maybe field them. By this having this tapped out as well, the surgical extraction should hit because the Bojuka Bog won't be there. We will see. There's a Flagstones. Let's go ahead and Archive Trap them. There's Primeval Titan. Let's go ahead and Visions here, try and hit more Archive Traps. I feel like this is completely fine to do. We had an Aether Gust. A surgical as well. Let's go ahead and surgical the Primeval Titan here before things get crazy. I'll take 2 damage to do this. Oh, there was 2 in hand. There's a Dryad as well and a Purge. Let's grab the screenshot again. Okay, I think we can beat him from here. Grab the Primeval Titan out of here just in case. Say okay. I have a way to get rid of the Dryad here with a Fatal Push. I think I'll just allow this to happen. We can beat him. We can beat him. We can beat him. Tough one here. Big brain plays are happening. We don't have crabs though. Scapeshift just sitting here like a dead card. Look at them dead fish. That fish floating in the air would be dead. No water. No oxygen. Kind of morbid. Let's see what my opponent does. There's Dryad. Attack for 3 here. I think I have to just accept the 3. This is now tapped out, which is nice. I have to do this leaving a Fatal Push open. So I have to take 1 extra damage here. Let's get rid of the Field of the Dead. And I will Fatal Push this. Should be pretty safe to do this. I don't like this Dryad sitting here, so goodbye. And then we can Visions as well, because this was tapped out. There's a Crab. We're getting there. Assassin's Trophy as well. Okay. Play Crab, play Luris, play land, pass turn. I know this Luris should pick up it should pick up the Celestial Purge my opponent has. I'm feeling okay here because of the Aether Gust. We have given them the option to go ahead and go after the Crab, but I can't imagine they do. Let's go ahead and mill them for a little bit more. Okay. Give me one more crab. I want to scape shift this opponent. Come on, deck. 28 cards to go. Purging away. No surprises there. Hit me for 3. You know you want to. We have no idea what they're playing. There's an Explorer. We'll allow that to resolve. Less cards to mill. More chances to draw Kozilek. Path, my crab. Alright, well, I will just accept that. Looks like we're not scape shifting. Bummer. Do I want to take this 3? I probably can. And just worry about Assassin's Trophy it. Okay. Maddening. Ooh. Each opponent mills 8. Kicker. Half of their library rounded up. So that'd be 13. That is for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could leave myself with Aether Gust open. I could leave myself with Assassin's Trophy for this. I think we just kick it. We just cast with kicker. Woohoo! Oh, we still haven't hit it. That's okay. Just leaving the Soul Guide Lantern to be. Attacking me for 3 here, it looks like. Probably can go ahead and Assassin's Trophy this when it comes into combat. 22 lands in your graveyard? That's a lot of lands. Too bad you don't have Splendid Reclamation. Opponent calls. We'll allow the call to resolve because I can use the Aether Gust if I feel like the card that they get is a threat. Elvish Reclaimer. I mean, it's a threat. It's a threat, but I've got this one covered. Kill that one. We'll see if they can even fetch anything here. They don't. All right. Do I just kill, and like draw one? Let's draw a card. Orb. Just play orb here. Like, we can kill a Temple Garden here. I don't have anything. You don't have anything. No one's got anything, opponent. Play the Palace in the Clouds. I could kill one more, but I think I'm going to give them this beautiful orb to hang on to. Go ahead. Mill 2. Explore and a call. 8 cards remaining. Hits me for 3. I think we just let this happen. No, it's time. It's time. Get gusted. I feel safe doing this here. I don't see them hitting me for 6 here. Gust this on top. It'll get taken care of when I shuffle it away. What else do they have? Ooh, they have a relic. Okay. It's pretty good. Pops the relic to draw. Okay. So they end up drawing the Reclaimer. Now it's a 1-2. 1-2, 1-1. 1X. It's tiny. There it is. All right. We mill a few cards here. We milled an orb. There's a Visions. Stop on my opponent's draw step here. Take care of the Flagstone. Let them mill this though. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of this. We have 8 cards. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can go down to 15. I say go down. Oh no, it's a 3-4 now. That's not good. They attack with this. Maybe this was a mistake. There was a castle. I should have waited. Let's go ahead and draw with the Visions here. It's a surgical. Awkward. Mill some cards. Polluted Delta here. They mill 1 here. What do we think they have? We're gonna play this game again? What do we have remaining, opponent? We have the Kozlik in there somewhere. I see 2 Dryads. I see some Explorers, 3 Dryads, 4 Dryads. Primal Titans are gone. Castle. See 4 Calls, 2 Caverns, 2 Valakuts, 1 Field. Vesuva. Could be a field. I think I just have to get lucky that this mills the appropriate card that I can then use Soul Guide Lantern here. It's a Wooded Foothills. They draw for the turn. They have 2 cards remaining. How many Skyclaves were there? I only see the 1 Skyclave. Let's Surgical Skyclave and see what else we have to deal with here. What are the last few cards? Oh, they have it in hand. Castle and Field. I'll take that Skyclave. So they have a castle and a field here. Whoo! Get rid of your library. Or your, not your library. Well, your library's gone anyway. Get rid of your graveyard. 1-2 coming in here. Whoa. I think that does it. Give me the crab. I want to scape shift them. I want to scape shift them for the finale. The Kozlik's in hand. Give me the crab. The crab! The crab! I'm gonna leave the palace, by the way. I don't know if I have enough cards. Get him. We got him. We got the crab. I don't know what lands I have, but I just destroyed all my lands. Now I can't cast anything. Feels good. Get milled, opponent. Get milled. Scape Shift has done wonders this game. There we go. And extra. Mill myself as well. Good games. Scape Shift does it. My opponent ends up picking up their Kozlik. We could have played it in such a way that maybe we could use the crab to try to, well, just block at this point. We got there. Barely. 2-2. Was Scape Shift really worth it? Match 5 coming up. Match 5, final match here. Queuing up here, going 2-2 currently, and getting to use Scape Shift once. This is definitely that blue-black, though, mill. It's pretty much, yeah. I will say the Assassin's trophies have been very nice. And our few uses of some of our green cards have been nice, but I think there are things that you could be doing alternatively. All being said and done, we'll have that conclusion after this match. Match 5 here. Let's go 3-2. Let's find our opponent, and let's play some Magic. Let's find them. Yeah. Our final opponent has been found. Let's go. Are we on the play or the draw? The draw we are. Taganaxos is our opponent. We rolled a 2. That's good luck. Let's see if they want to take the play or the draw here. 60 cards versus the 61 card special. Best way to splash a new card. Lyris has been declared here. No declarations from our opponent. And one of the most satisfying hands we've seen all night. Maddening, a couple crabs, visions, and a fatal push. We will keep this. Easiest keep of the night. All right, opponent kept 7 as well. Even match here. Let's begin to play some Magic. Flooded Strand here. Easy enough. Extra crab. We'll go ahead and play a Hedron crab. We got a couple of those. Splitting the difference between our crabs. And resolves. We'll see what this is. Maybe it's going to be fetching a Triome. Maybe we have blue-white control. Flooded Strand is cracked here. My opponent finds A. It's difficult to find the lands they want. They're buried in the digital library. Maybe they're not clickable. There's a triome. Get rid of this draw step here. And we bolt the crab here. This is the Temur triome, Misty Rainforest. Looks like I will now play a crab. Got a couple of these crabs. Play our Overgrown Tomb in sideways here, and go ahead and yield to the crab, milling for 3. Go ahead, opponent. Cryptic Command and Hour of Promise. We have Money Pile across from us. Fetching with Misty Rainforest. Hallowed Fountain does shock this in and picks up a path here. We'll go ahead and get another island because we have some crabs to play. Got some crabs to play. It'd be great to play 2 crabs here plus fetch land plus maddening. I don't think I will get that luxury. We will see though. Island for our opponent, 3 mana, plays Uro. They have double blue and single green right now. We'll see if they can find that extra green. Uro coming down, Field of the Dead in play. All right, so I think we'll just play both crabs here and pass the turn. Be great to maddening, could be great to do a variety of things, but if we do find that fetch land, these double crabs in play underneath the Cryptic Command or other counters will be nice. If they do end up pathing, they end up pathing one of these and we at least mill for 3 and continue our way up on our mana curve. Now, Vision's going to be a little bit awkward because Uro could stop things like that from being played. There's a Teferi. Interesting. We'll see if they bounce a crab. They do. Crab back to hand here. Now they could path this without any ill effects. Steam Venson shocked, has no follow-up. We'll play crab back into play here. Misty Rainforest. Mill. Go ahead and save the target and always yield. Now, my opponent doesn't have another green just yet. We're at 14 cards here. I think I'm going to go ahead and attempt a maddening here. This does not target. We'll see if they have a counter. 22. Go ahead and fetch here as well. I don't really need more black. We'll get the breeding pool here in case I find myself with escape shift. Mill. And we will Visions here as well. Maybe I can find a Surgical and take out Uro. Who knows? Growth Spirals after all of this. They're not really interested in my Visions. We'll see, though. We do find a Surgical. So the question is, what do I want to snag with the Surgical here? Can't do it at instant speed because of Teferi. I think the scariest thing here is probably just Uro or Omnath. How many Uros do I see? I see 1 here. I see 2 here. I do see only a singleton Omnath. Either of these I could Fatal Push. Let's go ahead and Surgical the Omnath. Bam, nailing the Omnath in hand. 2 Cryptics in hand. It's pretty good for them. All right. Grab this Omnath out of the graveyard as well. Sounds good. We'll pass the turn. Looking very good here. 2 Cryptics do not scare me at all. They could play Uro, but that means the Cryptic Command is down. We'll see if that's what they want to do. Fetching with Flooded Strand. 20 cards remaining. Looking pretty hot. Breeding Pool. Fetching and shocking. This is definitely an Uro turn. As mentioned, though, they'll be tapped out Mesmeric Orb, Visions, and not only the Palace in the Clouds, being able to mill my opponent probably for the remainder of what they have. Uro played here, ends up drawing a card. Fetch land would be fantastic. We have a Misty Rainforest. We do make a Field of the Dead zombie token. This is pretty good. This is like a fetch land. This is like probably the best card we could have drawn. Field, mill. We know it's 2 cryptic commands. I don't really want to do this immediately, but at the same time I can pretty safely. Go ahead and target the Field of the Dead here. They can float mana, so they have their cryptic command briefly online here. We can go get what appears to be probably just a swamp. Because we're probably just going to Fatal Push and Mesmeric Orb here. Crab's milling. Mill. Opponent's fetching. Could have Fatal Pushed in response to the fetch there. Gonna put an Hour of Promise on top of their library, just trying to stave off some of this pain that they're experiencing. Let's go to second main. Though they don't have triple blue here, it shouldn't matter. Let's go ahead and Fatal Push away Uro and play down a Mesmeric Orb. Good luck, opponent. Mill 4, draw 1. And they concede. All right, we have a good shot here. We'll see what we can do here in game number 2. So Mystical Dispute and Aether Gust looking pretty good here. Ixalig's probably not bad. Crypt Incursion not so bad either. And Veil as well. All of this looks pretty good. I do like Archive Trap. Our meme can probably be sit out for this turn. I don't mind the idea of Soul Guide Lantern here. Let's see here. Does Ixalig make sense? Ixalig would be good for the Dredge matchups and other things. Just because we have Uros, I don't think we will. So we'll pull those out. Crypt Incursion. Well, that makes sense. My opponent doesn't have that many creatures. Let's get rid of that. So we're at 6 cards here that I want. 1 Scape Shift out. I think I can do probably a pair of Fatal Pushes is probably fine. Singleton Surgical is probably okay as well. And then 2 more cards. 1 Soul Guide Lantern, and maybe just 1 extra Surgical. I think I can really tempo them out with these Aether Gusts here. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Teferi is going to be the worst card for those Aether Gusts and Mystical Disputes, but sometimes you've just got to hope that you can counter them, being that we're on the draw. Opening hand looks excellent, if I do say so. And we'll go ahead and keep playing to get this Rune Crab into play. Looks pretty good. 2 excellent hands here against our money pile opponent. Misty, a Rainforest played. We'll play our Breeding Pool here and slap down the Rune Crab. Polluted Delta picked up from the top of the library, an excellent one here as well, making sure that we can go ahead and fetch and maybe get double the mill down. Trioma has been picked up. This is the Jeskai one. This gives them the opportunity to play a Bolt. Scalding Tarn fetched here as well. This could be Renin 6. Stomping Ground found as well. Starting to smell like Renin 6 and is Renin 6. Question is, does the Assassin Trophy need to come down now or later? Probably later. Let's go ahead and Polluted Delta here and also fetch with Polluted Delta. Watery Grave seems fine. Go ahead and yield to the Ruin Crabs here. And let's go ahead and Maddening. I do know that this basically sets the Renin 6 up to pick up whatever. Just gonna have to accept that that's what's gonna happen here. They did pick up a fetch land, so this Archive Trap is live. They don't play it though. Plays Uro. This makes the Soul Guide Lantern feel pretty good. Not to mention the Assassin's Trophy can trigger the Archive Trap as well. Breeding Pool into play and shocks it in. Interesting to shock it in, being that it is a Breeding Pool. Field of the Dead picked up with the Renin 6. No other action here. All right. Well, being that we have a Uro here, I think it's just got to be Soul Guide Lantern, perhaps even just, if I may, Soul Guide Lantern, hope that they don't have the Force Negation, and if they do, maybe we do something else here. There's a lot of things in this graveyard, but Uro is the only thing I think I care about at this present moment. I think we'll just go ahead and pass the turn here. 31 cards to go, an active Crab, Archive Trap, and Assassin's Trophies for days. Not to mention a Field of Ruin to deal with the Field of the Dead that my opponent has picked up. Looking decent. There's a Strand. I'm not going to worry about them picking up cards here. Looks like we want to play an Omnath. That's fine. In response to this Omnath, I think I want to go ahead and Assassin's Trophy. This Assassin's Trophy will then give us the option to Archive Trap pretty safely. And then I can Field of the Ruin, the land that they'll have here as well. They do have Veil now open. I'm going to hope that they don't have the Veil. They do. Nice. Well played. Well played. All right. Wonder if they have another Veil. Shall we go for it? Let's get rid of this Field of the Dead. Picking up an island. I think we go for it. I like the chance of the Archive Trap hitting here. Force of Negation stops us as well. They pick up an island. We do hit. We do hit. I think this is the go-ahead for just cracking the Soul Guide Lantern here as well. And I think we might have them dead. Clears the yard. 7 cards here to go. We have the Assassin's Trophy to get rid of the Ren and 6. It's looking good. Soul Guide Lantern. Pretty powerful. 5 mana Hero of Dominaria. Gonna just bounce Crab. Crab bounce. Crab bounce. All right. Let's go ahead and attempt. Let's put that down first. Assassin's Trophy Renin 6 here. Hoping that my opponent doesn't have more than a mana leak. Renin 6 is dead. We're gonna put Luris into hand. We got 6 cards left. Opponent does not find another basic. Go ahead, opponent. 5 cards remaining. Feeling pretty good here. We can pick up the Soul Guide Lantern with the Luris if we want to. 3 mana. Reconsidering. Teamer mana. Omnath mana. Omnath draws a card. 3 cards go. I have the Palace in the Clouds too as well. Land drop. Up to 21. Fetching. Basic Island still in the list. 2 cards remaining. Fetching that one was potentially lethal here. Fetches the Temple Garden. I think my opponent's just showing off at this point. Teferi played. Pick up that Omnath. Do it. Go out on your own terms, opponent. You know you want to. Green, white, blue, red. Teferi goes up here. 1 card left. 11 on our life total. This Teferi picks up our crab. I think we're good though here. We play Luris. We replay our Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, nope, nope, we're not doing anything. Can't pay for that. Was that a mistake? Absolutely not. Go ahead, opponent. Can't use Teferi uptick, can't use Teferi downtick here. They've got Omnath and 6 cards. We're at 11 life. Can you beat us? Attacks us. That's not good. Down to 7. Can you apply 7 points of damage here? 2 red, not 3. I have crab coming. I have the crab cake. Sultai Mill. The 3/2. Ups with Teferi. That doesn't win you the game yet. Mystic Sanctuary to pick up probably nothing. Puts the Mystical Dispute back on top. This gives them another turn, ladies and gentlemen. Another turn. Crab. We will play Crab. Does it resolve? Keeping this in hand so that I can play this. The Crab gets us there. 3-2 with the Sultai Mill, beating Money Pile at the very end and getting to scape shift one opponent. We'll see you in the conclusion. Sultai Mill, 3-2, splashing green for a few cards. We do take down the league. It is from the preliminaries. 80 Gurwaz. We might not have actually done this whole Soul Guide Lantern and Scape Shift piece. Gave us a good look at what the list could do when we didn't take that out. And we also got to see how impactful was that Singleton Scape Shift. Definitely down the 8 Crabs and Luris package here, but we are splashing green. Now, I'm a big fan of these archive traps, and they've been exceptionally good recently because a lot of people are still being very greedy with their mana bases. Go Blood Moon. With that being said, being able to force our opponents, well, I say force, at least encourage them to go ahead and search for something, the Assassin's Trophy does a nice job of putting the archive trap back online, which is a pretty sweet little interaction that came up a couple times. Sideboard wise, we didn't really get the Yixlid Jailer, but I understand why this is here. I don't know if this is any better than, say, an Extirpate or something, but this is trying to stop a larger impact of, say, Oops All Spells, Dredge, or other things where maybe the singleton removal of a Surgical Extraction from the graveyard is just not enough. My favorite addition here is definitely Assassin's Trophy, and I don't actually mind the Veil of Summer, and the Guy's Blessing is not a bad thing as well, just as a one-of in case you do run into Mill. Kind of a nice little breaker for the mirror match. Overall, anything with Luris and 8 Crabs is definitely up there on my list. Do you need Scape Shift? No. Could it work? Possibly. Would you rather play something else? Probably. Splendid Reclamation. Sultai Mill, if you would like to continue to pursue that, mission briefings and Snapcaster Mages also wouldn't be bad, as you could begin to mill yourself, and or if you accidentally mill over your own Scape Shift, you can basically flash that back. Splendid Reclamation might be a little bit better because you have so many things that are fetching, like Polluted Delta and your Misty Rain Forces, that you may not have enough lands. You are, after all, not playing about 28, you're playing about 21. Sultai Mill. A little bit of a different flavor here as we approach the end of the year. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have, consider hitting that subscribe button. With your support and help, we've hit 3,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. We'll see what 2021 has in store for us. We're almost there. Till next time, take care, be safe. We'll see you in our next matches. We'll see you on stream. And we'll see you on Twitter. And we'll see you on wherever else we may.